begun. Yes, Modretro. Breaking news is back in the spotlight. Modretro today released an update. Again, here we go, for their console and their controller. I had just made a video, and it just so happens to be the video of the two consoles competing, and now I may have to change my story. So you caught me at just the right time, Modretro, because I was about to show everybody everything, and now I have to reformat and reproduce. So let's check out what's going on here. So today, Friday, they just so happened to release an update for the Modretro console and the controller. The new updates are what's important. You can like, subscribe, join the channel, check out the playlist. I have a lot of stuff. So, first thing I do want to get off my shoulders here is apparently this controller here, which is really cool looking of a controller. I really prefer the 8-bit Do controller because it makes it so much easier to play those N64 games. As you'll see in my next video, I talk about that real quick, But in this situation, this controller here apparently does not charge through this cable here. Because this cable here, this plugs into the controller, this plugs into the console. Apparently, this controller doesn't support a strong enough voltage for the device to actually charge through this cable. Basically, the console, as you would have it, you can see that there are 3 ports. One would be a power, one would be a signal, one would be a ground. So power, ground, signal. In some cases, the device will ground, and it could be that there is 2 signals and 1 power. Baby, it could be either way. But either way you look at it, this console and this controller are a little bit different than the analog. This controller here comes with obviously a battery pack and a chargeable battery pack. So the chargeable one, in order to charge that stupid thing, you would stick it in the controller and then plug this into a USB-C to another USB-C or a USB to charge the actual controller to like an outlet or a special charge pack. You could use what came with the M64. Some people, and what people are saying is you actually can plug it into one of these back ports here, this one or this one, to charge the controller. But the problem I have with that is it should be able to charge through the actual cable that it came with. Why are you buying a $90 controller when it doesn't come with a charge cable at all? That's the kind of thing there. But that's really no big deal. It's still a cool controller, and I like it. It's part of my collection, so it is what it is, right? But yeah, it didn't come with that. That's why they also offer this here, which is great. I'm sure it cost a lot of money to make that. It's not easy to make these things and give it to the public. Now, let's get to something real quick here. Today's video, we're going to go over the actual update of both of these and show you everything and the differences. If you remember my last video, okay, the M64, I told you that the M64 signal coming out the back of the HDMI port was not as strong. Coming out of this port here was not as strong as the analog 3D. I said the signal is less. It's weaker. It's less. I wasn't lying. I would say a few years ago I bought a digital HDMI tester to test certified HDMI cables. The reason for this was because I was buying cables off of Amazon because you couldn't go to any stores really to buy HDMI cables. And when you bought cables from Amazon, they were junk from China. Yeah, that's right. So you would get these cables that you'd buy HDMI wise, and they just didn't work. They weren't very good, or they didn't have, the picture just didn't seem as good. That's because you have to buy certified cables. And I meant this. This is something I learned on my own, obviously. So I learned to test. I can actually test anything. You power it on and plug it in the back of the HDMI cable, and boom, you can actually see the hertz and voltage and all that coming out of that console for the signal. It tells you if it meets 4K and all that stuff, if it meets the actual requirements. So that cable tester is what tells me what's going on. This day and age, I've been using that. Even when I buy certified cables, I still use it to test those brand new to make sure they're good. I think maybe COVID time, whenever COVID happened, everybody kind of lost their ability to go out and shop and buy stuff. But see, monster cables were always like certified or whatever. A certified HDMI cable is extremely important to give you the best picture and the best quality. A lot of people just buy their TVs and buy their stuff, and they don't know the cable that comes with your console may be junk. The cable that comes from anywhere could be not that good. So I only buy the real expensive ones, certified cables, bottom line. So today we got an update that covers just that. The M64 has now increased the hertz of their console. Imagine that. That's a little strange. I find that strange. I wasn't complaining. I was just making a statement. So something you guys need to know. If you want high quality images on your TV, you got to have a good cable. And boy, do I have good cables. I buy some of the most expensive stuff. I've got a problem. So as you can see, here is one type of cable that I use. It is a Fusion cable, and it says it's professional series. It's 8K, gold connector, HDMI, runs a 2.1, all that kind of good stuff, okay? As you know, I buy only quality stuff, the most expensive. I don't mess around. It's not here for Christmas or gone tomorrow. It's here to last forever. So today we're going to cover these updates and see what did they do. And we're going to do a Zelda test once again to see how much better it looks. Yes, I still have the old recordings I could compare them to, and we could see the differences. Like I said, it looked a little blur, it looked a little dark, we had a little bit of indifference with some pixelization. They still haven't fully upgraded the console to that 100% yet, but it's getting there. And so I had made another video where these two compete, and it's not very fair because the Analog 3D actually is producing a really good looking picture compared to this. I didn't want to say it. I love you guys, all of you. But, so, the thing about the controller, real quick, right before we go to the update process. The controller itself, they've been talking about this whole faster Bluetooth. So, the 8-bit do, they're going to be on their next update. They're going to allow support for the 8-bit do controller, the analog controller. Now, I find this strange because analog, just so you guys know, analog is made by 8-bit do. Yeah, that Analog 3D right there. Yeah, who do you think made that? So, okay, let's get this off the chest real quick and get on to the videos. That controller, their Trident controller. They talk about the SCI and the BLE, okay? And that controller is not been updated yet still with this new update for that speed. Now, that type of speed, it doesn't really matter because, like I said in a video that has not been released, but this uses a 5.0 Bluetooth, okay, the 8-bit do. And that there will see, if it can, but apparently you have to have like a 6 or a 6X kind of Bluetooth. So if that has that, then it should be able to run the SCI, which is a faster transmission than anything. But the problem is the games can only react so fast. There is built-in latency in the games. The games are not like ultra fast. Like, we're trying to make these things as fast as possible. Yeah, it's true. So here's a quick video showing you the controller and what I'm talking about with the speed thing. And then we're jumping into some testing with the updates. Okay, so let's cover the controllers real quick here, like I had said. So as you come down, you can see all the cool stuff they did with the animation with their controllers. But as we come down, you're going to see this screen right here. This is what they're talking about with the SCI and the BLE. So I guess your 5.0 Bluetooth that comes with the 8-bit do, it's fast. I don't have any problems with it, and nobody's really going to notice this. But in maybe the case that your console is possibly highly overclocked on insane mode, and it is actually doing what it's supposed to do, and you're playing one of those hard games where the computer is kicking your ass. Yeah, I use that word. I'm not too sure. A real good way to test this would be the Turok game and possibly Quake, because those games have a lot of jittery, shuddery, freezing kind of frames you can see. So you put it on insane for those games right there. So that way you can see. I remember playing Quake on the 64 and it would shudder. I think another game, what is it? Forsaken 64, yeah, that would do it too. So a real test in the future, I will have a lot of these games. We're going to be going over all this. Yeah, I can't cover everything all in one day, and you're only allowed one video a day to be shown to the public on YouTube. So it's not my frickin' deal. Anyways, take a look at this. This is what they're talking about. They still don't have that update out, but they're working on it. So no big deal to me. Okay, so the new update that dropped today, it says right here that low latency is under development for the Bluetooth wireless connection for the connectivity of this controller. The controller pack emulation future update. There's a lot of stuff that they're working on. Software. This is, you know, what it has, 200 plus hours of battery life, but they're still under development for their latency with the thing. And it's not a big deal at all. It's really not. So they really don't have to push it to prove themselves. But this is what I was talking about. Let's take a look at the actual gameplay comparison, or the video that I have set up next. Okay, so once again, we're updating the Modretro, and we're plugged into the back here, just kind of going over that with a data link connector, not the power cable that it comes with, a totally different cable. So you have to go buy a data link connector. Some phones come with it. Sometimes you buy them on Amazon. I plugged it in, and there we have it, folks. It's going to update. So this is actually super easy here to update everything. And it should take maybe 15 minutes. The last one actually took like 25 to 30 minutes. And let's check out and update everything and find out what's going on. And once again, I don't care if you have the serial number. This console is literally just for making videos. Thank you. All right, once up to date, it'll say up to date in bright green. Of course, my colors are off for some dang reason. We don't know why. There we go, bright green. And we'll go on to the next thing. Let's update that controller. Okay, ridiculously simple. You just plug right in. If you're already here at the website for the updater, you'll see that it's updating really, really fast. Unlike the console itself, the console took quite a bit. But yes, you just plug it in, and it detected it. I didn't have to turn it on this time. So as soon as I plugged it in, it knew right away. And it turned itself on. Really weird. But I guess once it's updated, it knows. So this time, the second update, you would just have to stick it in there. And it does it. Dun dun dun! Okay, the controller is up to date. Let's get to the video and testing and see what happened. Okay, so here we are with the Modretro's new update. The console has been updated and the controller. And so when you go into here, there's no changes to any of this that I am seeing. I know it says customize, but apparently they added, was there a gamma mode here before that says modern and tube? I'm going with modern. Okay. They said they did something else. They did increase the hertz, the signal output, which is probably why it looked bad on an OLED, which is why I was trying to state this in my first video. And so I don't know about messing with advanced right now. It says experimental. So, I mean, there's all this different stuff here, and I'm not too sure. There's a different mode here. I don't know if that matters. And it says RGB or GBR. I don't know if that's going to matter with anything. And then this says bright gain. I don't know if any of that actually matters. But yeah, we're going back. So I set it to Integra, the Integra, or Integer, or Tigger. I don't know what that damn word is. So let's go here. Obviously, you have to repair your controller, which is kind of fun because you have to use the button on the console to get to this screen and then click pair if you're not using another controller. So you come here. I'm not seeing really anything here that's new there. This is where their experimental and other stuff will be listed. Insane is still there as far as overclocking. I always put it on that just to see how insane it really is. Coming soon, so some stuff may have changed here. You'll notice over on the right it says M64 Pro controller, plug in and pair. So literally you'll be able to just plug it in with that connector and it'll pair up. Every time, one pain in the butt thing with using this controller is you have to pair it to the device every time you update it or just to use it pretty much. So you can't just, it's not as easy as the analog 3D with the 8-bit do controller. I'm halfway across the world and I push the button on the 8-bit do controller and the analog kicks on. So, there's still stuff here. Low latency video output, forced progressive mode. There's a lot of stuff here. Chromatic video pass-through. So the transfer pack kind of stuff for the chromatic they're still working on, which doesn't really matter to me. It's like jumping into a fire. There's so much to cover. There's going to be a lot of videos coming from me on a lot of stuff. So it does boot up the cartridge very fast. As far as this right here, that's just your information. Doesn't matter. So as far as the Zelda test, let's go ahead and do it, right? As soon as I plug that game in, it goes straight. It took it a second, but I may have to. Yeah, so it's strange. The LED for the thing, for the pair controller turned purple. Kind of wondering why that is when it was white. I wonder if I can show you guys a picture of this real quick. I'm going to take a picture and have it in the video for you, but as you can see, it's purple in the picture. So I find that a little strange. So let's get into this and see. Let's do the comparison test here. We have it. We're going to the profile that I always use for testing to see the white and everything. And my God. I wasn't lying, guys. Okay, so the squares on the floor look kind of normal now. Holy smokes. Modretro. Did you do it again? You did it. You did. Look, the wall doesn't look as bad. Oh, man, that's pretty interesting. Now, Link is kind of dark, though. So the floor does look better. So, obviously, when it comes to this game here, we always had the pixels that would jump around in the background. So you see, you still kind of get the pixel kind of moving. That's maybe because the camera is moving, but if the camera stops moving, you can see that, you know, it is what it is, right? But let's go over to this wall where we always go. And Link is still kind of dark. Now, I know that the OLED does have some temperaments there for changing stuff, but for some reason, we want to take a look here. And Link does look more, he does look a lot kind of better than before. So this is a little bit strange here, but I think it's because they increased the hertz output of the HDMI, what I was complaining about. And I wasn't really complaining, I was just saying the signal was less. So now they have some pixels to work on and OLED support for even stronger, better. Yeah, so right here, he does kind of look like an analog 3D character now. Now, it's still a little dark. The analog seems to be a little more brightness, so I think we have a way of fixing that. So let me bring up the menu here. And is it not coming up? Okay. So, there is a point at which you can actually change this here. Where are we thinking? Okay, we go to customize. So the horizontal bloom. Can we change that? Can we change it? No. What's going on here? That's great. Really fabulous. I'm having problems trying to get it to change. Perfect timing. Okay, so there we go. Let's try that. So the horizontal bloom does change the floor to where it's a little more distorted. So on the OLED, you can see that the floor, you guys don't see this per se. Okay, so what you're seeing is the squares here, the black squares. They look a lot more foggy and more washed out white versus the video that you're seeing right now. So on an OLED, and that's why I'm testing, I can put this, plug this into my Sony TV and it probably won't look like this. This is for OLED testing. I like to test on the most expensive TV they have out there. Thank you. See if you got what it takes, right? So let's get on out here and let's take a look at the field. That was the horizontal bloom is brightness turned up, basically is what it is. Now this looks a lot better. It's not as dark, but the horizontal bloom is engaged. So there you have that. It's not too bad, you know, as far as it goes. It's still, you know, there's a little bit of pixelization I'm seeing with certain things. It's not that bad, though. It's really not. So let's go on out here and take a look. And then we'll adjust the bloom with the lighting of the game. So, as you can see, the field looks a lot brighter, but looks pretty good. So, I say that their signal output patch may have done some improvements there, but Link looks pretty pixelated on an OLED premium TV. Now, I know there's settings I can mess with my TV and all, but let's go ahead and check here, and let's knock that down to like a normal level. And so the field looks pretty good. Okay, the field looks pretty good. It's not too bad. On the OLED, it's not as great as it could be. As you can see, the pixelization with the body of the character. I know we're all trying to get the game to look magnifique perfect, but that's not always possible. That's why there's PC modded games. So it does look a lot better. I have another video that I had made, and I'm going to make a few adjustments. But as you can see, it looks good on your guys' signal that you're seeing in the picture. And so The OLED TV that I have is a monster. It is the flagship, highest, most expensive OLED TV they pretty much have out there. So that is the reason why the OLED will have major differences, because it doesn't support all of that. Basically, you can do 8K with this TV and no problem. So that's pretty much where the differences are. Now, the Sony flagship TV that I have, that is perfect. It'll work perfect and look perfect on that. So what you're seeing right now is pretty damn good looking. So comparing this with the analog, it's almost the same. The problem is analog has OLED support and M64 still doesn't necessarily. Yes, the analog did have a higher band signal than the actual Modretro, but we'll be testing that on a future video, because I can't make all the dang videos tonight, can I? So, thank you guys for checking in. You see what the Zelda game looks like, and you can see his face kind of pixelating and stuff, you know. Not bad. Not bad, though. It's a lot better than it was. A lot better than analog's day one, but day one analog, it was, they were trying to get you that console fast, you know, because so many people wanted it. So, here we go, folks. Check out my other videos on M64. They will be coming out very soon. We've got a lot. We got analog coming out all this weekend. This is what this weekend is. Last weekend was Gears weekend. This one is obviously the retro consoles. We're back.
Zombie apocalypse.